This is Late Night Parents. Ted Hicks, True Armor, coming to you. And the episode is called Where There's Smoke. We got, when you kind of hear or think of Where There's Smoke, I don't know if I'm catching a little reverb.
That was me.
Right.
I always check other channels to make sure I'm broadcasting. So
okay. Yeah, where there's smoke. So this morning, I don't know about you, True, when I woke up. So I was up late working on a TPS report at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Got to get those TPS reports in. I feel you.
So I was working on the TPS report and went to sleep, woke up. Phone was just blaring. I'm like, what in the world is going on here? Because usually in my line of work, when the phone is blaring early in the morning, that means there's some type of an outage.
Right. No one ever called you with good news at 7 in the morning.
Right.
It's always the world is burning down. No, I got you.
But luckily, not luckily for everyone else, but luckily for me, it wasn't directly impacting me. It impacted me, but indirectly, because there was a global internet outage.
Right. We were talking about this earlier in the chat. I thought it was just a few places in America, and our boy K-Dub told me it was global.
It's global.
Yeah, so yeah. I was like, wow, really? How did they get that wrong so early?
Well, that's a good, very good question. Hang on one second. Let me just make sure that I retweet this. Okay. Retweeted it on.
I never tweeted it. I need to tweet to let people know that I am out here shooting my face off.
Yeah, you do. I don't know why you don't.
Yeah, I know.
But,
I gotta fix my horse.
So this morning there was a widespread internet outage that took down some of your favorite websites, including Amazon, Google, Reddit, CNN, which is nowadays, and USA Today.
Right.
One of the few newspapers that has a website that they're not, begging you for money to read their articles from the Associated Press.
Opinion pieces.
That's another story. But one site that I go to is called Down Detector, and it's a site that tracks
What's the name of the site?
Down Detector.
Down Detector. Okay.
Yeah, that was the link I sent out to all of us this morning. I said, go to this site if you're having problems with a specific website.
Right.
So Down Detector reported there was a long list of sites, which included Zoom, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Hulu, Spotify, Etsy, PayPal. They started experiencing problems.
A lot more than I thought.
Around 5:30 Eastern Daylight Time. It looks like the outage itself was dealing with, you see the image that I have on screen, Fastly.
And what is Fastly? Give the crowd a quick update on what Fastly is.
Hang on one second. So Fastly itself is a basically a cloud platform that powers websites such as, the New York Times and Shopify.
So it facilitates them getting into the cloud.
Yes. It's like a broker. It's like a broker.
Okay.
So the platform itself that
and they somehow dropped the ball, which cost people a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
We're going to be seeing lawsuits about this for the next 20 years.
I would agree with you.
Wow.
So it was like, people were getting that era, unknown domain.
505, right.
Yeah, the era 503, like service unavailable. And, because, nowadays people immediately think, we're being hacked.
Right.
And they're not wrong. They're not wrong to think that. Because if you think about what's been happening over the past I don't know, a couple of years, 5 years, 10 years.
Right.
Whether either it's a presidential candidate's chief of staff getting her emails hacked, or you know, you name it. It could be Elon Musk next week for all we know.
Yeah.
It's the one thing. Fastly itself describes itself as an edge cloud platform that helps websites with services such as, basically, it's a CDN. It's called a Content Delivery Network.
Right.
And it handles website security. So you name it. Among the major sites that are listed as partners for Fastly, Wayfair, Wired, Yelp, Shazam, Ticketmaster, stuff like that.
All these big American companies.
Yeah. So here's the one thing you got to remember, which edge computing, thousands of data centers that is strategically scattered. And I want to stop right there and say, previously data centers used to be, hey, it's going to be in your specific on-premise location. Nowadays, this stuff, it's
outsourced or off-site locations.
Yes, you got it.
And the transporting back and forth of information is always vulnerable.
Yes, it is.
Guys, speaking of which, didn't the FBI and all these other federal national agencies across the globe sweep down on all these guys because the weak spot in your secure transmission is the transmitting of the, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. LED, what's good?
So here's the thing that you got to remember. This stuff is strategically scattered around the world to shorten the distance for each user's needs to reach a cloud service, a site, speeding up service. So it's similar to how your Wi-Fi signal weakens the further you're away from it.
Okay.
The closer you are, the stronger and the faster the signal is.
You got to be in the heart of it.
Right.
Okay. You
got to be in it to win it. So.
Right.
What's good, Tony D? So that was this morning. That was early this morning. Second story to tie into it, and I just want to get your take on it. Invisibly. So really quick, Invisibly. It's a startup company. Well, we got billions of startup companies, but this startup company will give you money to sell your data to advertisers. How do you like that?
I think this is a workaround about your freedom to not be exposed, right? If you're going to allow private companies to undo the fabric of what the place was founded on, then you don't have a country anymore. You live and work, and you're a citizen of a mall until someone else comes along and wants to sell you something else or sell you as something else, right? Better be careful. I think it's a bad mood. It's like one of the sinister things about Star Wars. I love the story, but the thing that George Lucas insisted that they do was sell their likeness, and to me, that's like selling your face and have people say you. I mean, that's an essence of you that is weird. And some people go, nothing matters but money, so none of this stuff matters. And that's, give it 10 years before people are paving over cemeteries and building high rises because nothing matters, right?
But I want you to listen to the title, Invisibly. It's a startup company that will give you money to sell your data.
Yeah, you shouldn't be allowed to sell your data. They shouldn't be allowed to sell your data. What they're doing is a workaround, quite frankly, right? They shouldn't be allowed to sell your data, right? Just because someone hasn't said the new crazy thing you came up with isn't illegal doesn't mean it should be allowed. Because there are a lot of very clever people who have managed to steal trillions of dollars in this system by being too clever for school, and they commit generations of people to poverty, right? So I mean, you gotta remember that you cannot just give away your information And how much are they? Your information is always accumulating. So do they buy it once and own it forever? If you're 20, do they own it till you're 80, or do they have to re you up? Does it expire and they have to give you all your information back? These are questions that you should be asking. I'm not even a lawyer. This whole thing just sounds bad to me. And what's going to happen is they're going to do it. They're going to make money. They're going to hire lawyers to cut your throat against you having a problem with them. And if you're one of the lucky few to climb to the ranks of the Supreme Court, where they're all golf buddies in the first place, they'll tell you, yeah, no, you don't own anything about yourself anymore. And you're like, wait, what? What? So, yeah, I don't know. At this point, they'll be like, all the stuff you sold us, meaning the essence of you we own, and now your children, we own them too, because they are essentially the essence of you. And then you're going to have to go to court to figure that out. You better watch what people freaking... The moves that people make who wear suits and ties are never looked at as hard as the guys who wear hoodies and sagging pants and boots, right? You instantly get a feeling about those guys, but you also instantly get a feeling of trust from these other guys. And, the middle class is shrinking because of those guys. We'll see what happens.
So technology is a wonderful thing.
Yep.
But all too often it works to serve the interests of companies more than people, especially when it comes to data collection. So your devices are constantly collecting and transmitting data about you, whether you realize it or not.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where
you're not realizing it.
So that's where Invisibly comes in. They're launching a new platform designed to help people take back control of their data.
That's needed.
And make money from it at the same time.
Okay. So you get to be in charge of your data and sell it at will, but stay in charge of it. Do I have this right?
Yeah.
So you're not selling it off. You still have control of your data, but you get to make money off your data. Is that right?
Yeah. It's just the opposite of... So nowadays you log into Facebook, for those who still use Facebook.
Right.
You log into Instagram and all of the other stuff. And you know how like you're creating your account and you're clicking through all these options really quick?
Yeah.
And because you want to get to the point
where platform.
You want to get to the platform. You want to see the picture of Beyonce Knowles. Right. And you are granting access to these companies that don't charge you anything for your personal data, for your cell number, for your birthday, for your specific likes, things that you're interested in, all the above. So, I mean, it's important because data privacy and control is a huge issue.
Yes.
And you have to believe the most effective way to change the way companies collect and use data is enable people to license their data to companies while making money from it.
I agree with that 100%, but I think that you don't have well, actually, you know what? That's not true anymore. You may now have a tech savvy enough young population to do that, but I think people my age and 15, 20 years younger than me, I'd say, up to about that, are going to have issues with it. But I think the people younger than that grew up with text messaging, Instagram, and all this other stuff. So I think they have to be savvy with it. It's in their blood to be savvy, technologically wise. Is that the right word? Tech. Well, let's just say tech wise.
I mean, it's late. It's don't even worry about it. Yeah. The more people who do this, the quicker companies will adapt to using this 100% consumer consent data. So currently, Invisibly anticipates people can earn a few bucks a month, but hopes to get to a point within the next 2 years where they can earn $1,000 a year, all while helping change a broken industry to a consumer consented data model.
So it's about $80 a month if you look at it.
Yes.
Right? $1,000 a year is about $80 a month.
Just want to say a couple of hellos in the chat room. We got Tony D, who is a regular who holds it down all the time. down with Late Night Parents. I've got Freda Gillespie, who's also a part of the extended family. She's down with Brother Shannon and all the great things that Shannon does. Frida, thank you for coming through, stopping by to say hello and right back at you. So those are two quick IT related stories this morning from the outage, the global outage, and then secondarily, Invisibly. And is it Freda or Frida? I want to make sure I pronounce your name correctly. So I'll leave for you, let you do that. Two quick things I wanted to talk about. I don't know if you can see it on camera. A cooling pad. This is primarily for gamers, but it's compatible. I got a cooling pad today in the mail. Very thankful.
Nice.
And it's low tech. You plug it in with a USB. You put it under your laptop, because I know a lot of people always talk about their computers overheating. Frida, I won't mess up your name again. I promise.
Like
Thank you
Frida
so much
Kahlo.
for clarifying that.
Wait, what's her last name? Kahlo?
No, Gillespie.
No. Frida Kahlo was an artist who was
So
famous Mexican muralist, I think she was.
I got the cooling pad, and also it looks like a messenger bag, right?
Yeah.
Watch this. From our friends at Portovino, it's not only just a messenger bag. You're going to lose your mind when I show you this. On the back end of the bag has a little spout right here. And the baggie right here with the nozzle, which allows you to fill it with alcohol or whatever beverage.
All right, so
put
you
it
can go
in your
to
bag.
the jazz festival or the Wimbledon or just the beach with your inconspicuous leather satchel. I like it, actually.
So big shout out to Portovino. You
Good
will
job.
be featured on Late Night Parents with your product.
I love it.
So big shout out. A wine crossbody bag is
Ain't
what
it though,
called.
Frida?
Hmm?
Me and Frida are in a full agreement on this bag.
It's for you and it's for me and my friends at AA. So that's the cheap.
Your AA meetings. Yeah.
That's the cheap
Oh my gosh, that is
product
hysterical.
placements for this evening. All right, so let's get back to. I got one for you.
Wow, that's so good.
Let me make sure I pull this stuff down. Boom, boom. Okay, so I've got an option here. Something that I usually run into. What do I usually run into? I always run into questions about tips for choosing reward cards. Credit cards with rewards aren't one size fits all. Neither are credit card reward programs. But we have a couple of brief tips on choosing reward cards. Number one, you got to read the reviews.
True.
Of these reward cards, because there's a lot of assumptions and preconceived notions about credit card reward programs, and they may be well-founded, or found to be way off base. So you got to do your research. Number two, check your credit score. Most credit card rewards programs require good credit or better to qualify for a participating card. Some even require excellent credit outright. So, make sure you get your credit checked. Determine how you'll use it. Do you want a rewards card for everyday expenses? Or do you want a card just in case for certain types of spending, such as travel purchases? It's important to answer these questions early on because it will tell you what terms and types of cards to focus on. So, for example, some reward cards offer a consistent earning rate across all spending categories, while others give you a more value when you buy certain items or redeem it in a certain way. So you basically got to figure out exactly what you're looking for. Once you know that, it would be very easy to decide whether a given credit card is what you need. You got to consider both earning and redemption values. It's impossible to evaluate credit cards if you don't know how much the rewards are worth. So it's obvious with the cashback credit cards, but it can be tough to tell with points and mileage. I don't have any cards that reference, mileage or hey, you take this trip and you could do X, Y, and Z. But I got a bunch of friends that do have that. And they always ask about the points. It's all about the points and about the specific mileage. You got to avoid unnecessary. My lighting fixture keeps dropping. I'm going to send a nasty gram to...
Haven't you switched where you normally, weren't you at the other place before?
Well, all right, I'm going to get back to the story.
Okay.
But here's the problem. Problem is the missus came back. So I was sitting at her desk.
That sounds like a horror movie. The missus
it was.
Came back.
She returned and she was just like, "What are you doing at my desk?" So I am now back over because I told her it was all about the ambiance.
Right.
You saw the picture of Muhammad Ali, and you saw the picture of Malcolm X, and you saw the TV screens, and you saw the football jerseys, and everything was going on. And
you saw you packing up your shit and moving it across the room.
Yeah, across the room.
Yeah, exactly.
So Frida says, true, a lot of small print. Tony D says, check the fees, all of them. So important. Absolutely a must. Check those fees, annual, monthly, late, all of them. They're definitely on with that. I'm going to finish up this. Avoid unnecessary hassle. So if you're the forgetful type like me, you got to schedule this stuff for the automated payments. But stay away from cards with rotating bonus reward categories. Such cards require you to sign up for bonus categories each quarter. And if you don't, you're unlikely to earn more than the market value that quarter. When in doubt, think cash back. You'll never have to wonder about the rate at which you're earning rewards with cashback credit card. You'll never have to worry about the rewards devaluation either. After all, you'll be earning rewards in terms of dollars and cents. It's a different story with points and miles card. However, it's hard to tell how much they're worth. And that's partly because the credit card execs can jack up the number needed for a free flight, hotel room, statement credit, etc., whenever they please. And lastly, don't rule out annual fees. That was mentioned by Frida and Tony. Oftentimes, cards with annual fees offer better initial bonuses and higher earning rates than free cards. So don't discount a card simply because it charges a fee, especially if it's low. Just make sure the extra rewards you'll earn are worth more than the fixed cost you have to pay. That's from our friends at Wallet Hub. They offer their free card advisor tool. I think, I made that in the comments. The article is there. It's my nephew, Captain Rehab. How you doing? Captain Rehab's in the building. So as we shift, what's going on with you? What is some of the things you want to talk about?
Me?
Yeah.
What do I want to talk about?
You want to talk about Prime
Come
Day
on.
coming up on the 21st and 22nd?
Prime Day? No, not really. You want to talk about him shooting himself into space?
Oh, Jeff Bezos, shooting himself into space.
Yeah.
Uh, privatizing the good work at NASA.
Apparently, he's not even the good person at this billionaire space game, right? The one who's making all the moves are the Canadian guy, that Elon Musk guy.
Okay.
But he's killing on the business front. Don't get me wrong. Amazon is a great thing, but it doesn't have to be gotten here. If I order it right now, it doesn't have to be here in 5 minutes.
I mean, it's nice
give the
if
driver
it's
an
there in
hour.
5 minutes.
You know what I'm saying? Give the driver an hour. Let him unionize it. I don't need you to beam it to my life. I can wait a day or two, and that's all I'm saying. But we'll see.
I think I was at an Amazon party. This is pre-print. I mean, it's sad that every time we have to share stories, we say this is pre-pandemic.
Right,
I was at a function.
What I like to be called the before times.
Right. I was at a function. It was an Amazon sponsored party. I was there because I blogged also. And what they were offering was the 1 hour service.
1 hour service. Think about that. Order from anywhere in the country and have it in your hands in an hour.
No.
It's pretty amazing.
No, not that. But they're getting there. But so I was in downtown Manhattan at the event. They gave you a list of items. It was like maybe 30 items.
Okay.
And basically you can order it, and they were confirming that it would be there within the hour. So here I'm sitting there, and they're like, order anything. And I said, okay. So I ordered some Tide. I ordered some whole milk.
That's what you ordered?
And some pickles.
Oh my God. Wow, that's a fairly eclectic bunch of shit to be ordering. Okay.
And it was there. By the time that I was leaving the event, it was there, and it was heavy as hell walking to the train station with these items in my hand.
Oh my God, that's so good.
It really was. It was really like, I was like, why in the world would you do this? Why didn't you just order something small that they could pull out of the truck that they had hidden around the corner?
Right, exactly.
Somebody
offered it like a muffler, and they're I'm ordering something that they cannot possibly get to me in an hour, and it shows up in an hour.
So Jeff Bezos with Blue Origin, his version of what Musk is doing and what Richard Branson is doing.
Name is Musk, right? There's Blue Origin, which is Bezos. There's God, I was
Virgin Galactic.
Virgin Galactic, which is Branagh, right? Not Kenneth Branagh. Kenneth Branagh is the actor. Who's the Virgin Atlantic guy?
Richard Branson.
Richard Branson, right? Richard Branson, and then the last one is Elon Musk, and his
SpaceX.
Is what? SpaceX. Okay.
SpaceX. Virgin Atlantic
NASA is taking our money and doing what with it again? Exactly. These private organizations are blowing your doors off. We should all have a problem with this. NASA should immediately up their game, and they haven't.
No, they're partnering. What are you talking about?
No,
they're partnering.
This is what you have to say when you're failing, so you're not embarrassed. Partnering. Why would the government need to partner with the private industry if the government was ahead of the private industry?
They're not. Obviously.
Exactly. You should get to a point where you learn. Look, the American military, the Army, was really interested in the flying craft, as they called it back then, right? And long before you could drop a bomb or shoot anybody from it, the American military was throwing money at it and investing in it because they saw the potential of it. That's not going, oh, we're going to wait till it hits the market and then buy some of them and figure out how to use it. You know what I mean? They help you pioneer to shore it up because they see something valuable in it. And I think that's, don't forget it. I'm rambling. Forget about it.
Well, I'll tell you this much.
I do think NASA has dropped the ball on this thing. And now they're getting by on partnering with people who are doing things. It's like, what's that famous sketch about Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, where Matt Damon is writing the whole thing, like, and Ben Affleck is like lying on the couch with a beer, going, "Hey, you should put my name on that, like Good Will Hunting or whatever." So that's kind of like the funny thing about what's going on here. Like, you know, I think NASA is just sort of going, put my name on it. You know, of course we have deep pockets for a government, but at the end of the day, you should be learning what they're doing and duplicating it and making it better. And not for money. You should be doing it for the nation, and you're not doing either one of those.
Frida, I want to thank you for the great discussion award. Also, who stepped in the room? Kaboom! Bannerman is in the building. Wow. We're not worthy, sir. We're not worthy. So I will tell you this. Banner could tell you a lot about Doge and crypto along with Tony. I mean, they are the kings of that. But right. I will tell you that Richard Branson stock, the Virgin Galactic, I bought, what was it? Maybe about 20 shares. It's gone up 108% in the last month. So he's doing something right.
Well, hey, Richard Branson has been knocking it out the park since he was like 17. He started Virgin Records when he was like 17. I think his first group was the Rolling Stones. So the guy is not a slouch, right? And he's been perpetually innovating since then. So I'm not sleeping on him. Even when he had that psycho phase of him and the other billionaire balloonists traveling around, like, remember these giant, I mean, they weren't Mylar. They were like silver, and the guy who was his main rival. This is the thing about hot air balloons. When they go missing, you might as well drop a sand in Yankee Stadium and have somebody find it. The world is a big place, and no one has found him yet because his whole balloon just kind of and fell out of the sky, and no one knows where it fell. Could have fell in the. I think they narrowed it down to like a forest, but congratulations, you know, it's a forest. I'm pretty sure someone will stumble across them in maybe 50 to 75 years and go, "Oh, there's that billionaire who passed away on that, you know, balloon." I don't know why don't you even be trying to make the best balloon? I think they were trying to circumnavigate the globe in a hot air balloon, but you know, it's what you do when you have too much money and you're bored. You know what I mean? So God rest his soul, but at the end of the day, Richard Branson kind of got over that after that guy died and went off to other stuff like space. We'll see.
I do want to give a shout out to Bannerman because I know he's dealing with his mom. Health is not the best, so we're definitely keeping her in prayer. She's going to pull through. You know, and Tony is right. You be there no matter what. You know, forget everything else. You got one mom. I will say this. Father's Day is right around the corner. And you know, I like to feature the dads because we don't get enough love. Mother's Day, you know, here's my spiel. Mother's Day, you know, you can't get into a mall. I don't care. Pandemic, whatever. You still couldn't get into a mall. Everywhere, churches are filled. Church crowns were out there, but it's a little bit different for Father's Day. And I think we're going to do a collective show in 2 weeks. We're going to do it on Sunday Night Smoke.
You're going to call it To the Moon?
I don't know. We're going to call it To the Moon. But
that's a Jackie Gleason reference for all you 20-year-olds. Jackie Gleason was an old actor for all you 20-year-olds.
But what role did he play when he said to the moon, Alice?
He was wasn't wasn't no Cramden was the other guy. Norton was the other guy. He
Yeah.
was Ralph Cramden, right?
Right, from the
And he was a
Honeymooners.
famous. It's 1950, like I want to say 6 or 7. He was famously a New York City bus driver.
Yep.
Yeah, who lived in a tenement building, like a project kind of back before Friends tenement apartments were these giant suites. Like theirs looked like a tiny little box of an apartment, all shot in the kitchen.
So
Was
listen,
the
we're gonna
most
do
famous
something.
program on American television for a number of years. For like, I want to say, even after retirement, even after it was canceled, it was on syndication forever. It was super
Forever.
popular. Yeah.
So I think we're gonna do something on Sunday Night Spoke
Yeah, let's do that.
podcast. We're gonna talk about fatherhood. We're gonna talk about I think it's like a 2-part episode. He's going to do something kind of raw this upcoming week where it's going to be like a fatherless child type, fatherless sons type show. And then the next week, the following week, I think the Father's Day itself, we're going to do, I guess, a panel. We'll be on as a panel.
Okay.
I know Tony D is going to jump in. Maybe Bannerman jumps in there. Maybe we can have a bunch of dads just join and talk about that.
Oh man,
You know,
this is gonna lead to a whole bunch of divorces. I can see it.
nah, it won't. It won't. I don't think it will.
How many women are on this panel?
Oh well, I don't know. I'm just going.
Because you need to have a couple of women there just to not to throw shade, because you know how to, but to big up, so it doesn't look like like the guys are just kind of patting themselves on the back here. But man, it's gonna be hard to find somebody who's willing to go, yeah, like dads are important. The society had so, I think, pitted men and women against each other that finding someone who says that has to either be your wife or your daughter. You know what I mean? They have to be that close. It can't be like a good girlfriend who's like, oh yeah, But back when I was, surely some ladies like their pops and their brothers. Surely you can find one. But yeah, all fathers should be broadcast. Amen to that, Tony.
I think John Ardmore is in the house. John, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by. So I mean, I think you made a joke earlier today, True. You talked about, hey, so you're definitely going to get a new pair of Hanes
Yeah.
t-shirts and
Happy Father's Day. Here's a tie again.
Is it the tie? Is it the drawers?
This is the same tie you got me last year.
Or
for
wait,
$3.
Wait, are they going to re-gift what they gave you last year?
No, they just didn't even care, so they went out and bought the same cheap thing that they found last year. Now you're having to get 2 ties for like $1.50 over 2 years. You're like, Ugh.
So I had an article that I posted last week on dads plus homework help equal quality learning time. As we know, Father's Day is rapidly approaching, and an increase in dad jokes told throughout the land. It's important to know that dads are far more useful than merely as bearers of, eye-rolling humor. So as we prepare to celebrate dads in all their glory, it seems like the perfect time to talk about how much dads help their children get the best education they can. One area where dads could use a little help is in the homework department. So our friends at Brainly, the world's largest online learning community, asked 1,000 American parents about their perceptions of their children's homework. Of the 86%
helping their kids with their homework, okay.
Of the 86% of dads who help their school-age children with their homework, half of those polled say that they get stumped by their children's homework. Hey, I'm one of them.
That makes sense.
The U.S. states where dads are the main homework helper: Florida, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, California, Texas.
What? That can't
Virginia,
be right. That can't be right.
Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan.
They can't be right. All the states you name are politically opposed to each other. Texas, New York, Florida, and California are all in the same box. That's amazing to me. That's amazing to me. Wow.
Let me see
So
if
they
I can.
all have the dads doing the most with the
Well,
helping of the homework, right? Those are the states with the most dads helping the kids with the homework.
yes,
Wow.
those
Okay.
are the states.
That is a wide list.
I mean, hey, there's 50 states. I mean, it's not that wide.
Yeah, but they're
Um,
talking about those are the states with the high percentages of that. But those states don't track with each other in any other category. Is what I think is amazing about it. Like I said, New York, Florida, California, and Texas are all in the same like little. Plus Ohio, you said, right?
yeah, I'm gonna get
Chi-town,
the.
like, it's amazing. It's fairly amazing.
Hang on, I'm gonna put it up here
It's
right
the new
now.
math, Ted. Yeah, it is the new math. Yeah, look at this. Look at it. Look at all these states that should not be in this on the same list with each other. Florida, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania is Pennsylvania still Republican? I think it votes Republican. California, Texas is Republican. Virginia just went Democrat like in the last 8 years. Illinois, Chicago, Indiana, Michigan. Wow, Michigan. Yeah, none of these states should be like. I get Florida, I get Pennsylvania and Ohio. I get Texas. I get Indiana. That's it. That should be your list. Just like Florida, not Florida. Just like New York, California, Illinois, and Ohio. Is Ohio liberal? I think Ohio is liberal, and Ohio should be on the same list. That is a really
Well,
interesting list to have all these things. So why now? I have to wonder why the politics are the way they are, or that tells me that the politics won't be the way they are by the time those kids grow up.
well, look at it. Look at swing states: Florida, Ohio.
Florida's not a swing state. Florida, I mean, they always say it's a swing state, but it's never been a swing state. They always vote Republican.
Okay, so
Right, so it's not
Ohio,
really a swing. Ohio, okay,
Pennsylvania.
okay. Well, okay, yeah, okay. That was up in play the last time. All right.
Yeah, that's
Texas never in play. California never
no.
in play. Virginia, like I said, 8 years ago, under Obama, it's shifted. Illinois is still Democrat. It's still Chicago. It's still Motor City. It's still Detroit. It's still I don't know. All right, man. I'm off
So,
the topic with this. I just found that list amazing. But okay.
so during school closures and shifts to online learning over the past year, fathers have been stepping up in a big way when it comes to things like homework help and
Right.
household duties. Case in point, a whopping
Right.
68% of dads reported helping their kids with their homework much more often now than they did prior to the pandemic. In
Okay.
addition, 78% of dads said the newfound appreciation for their kids' teachers after having to help their children homeschool during the closures. And perhaps the most touching finding in the survey, over 69% of dads said the biggest silver lining during the pandemic for them has been getting to spend more time with their families. The fact is,
Sorry.
the fact
What else
is,
you gonna
dads
say?
are great resources
This
for the
pandemic, I
kids.
gotta spend time with my damn family. You're not gonna say that. You're gonna be like, oh man.
The fact is, dads are great resources for the kids,
Yep.
and many work hard to help their kids succeed.
Yes.
So, some of these surveys, result in and illustrate how the pandemic has changed nearly every aspect of our lives. As we slide into the summer months and families celebrate dads across the nation this Father's Day, we're realizing how much more of an active role dads are playing in the kids' learning and schoolwork. So, big shout out to dads.
Yes.
Big shout out to the fact that teachers do deserve much, much more than they basically receive. I mean, it's a really hard job
Teaching?
teaching. And John, we're going to give you put your comment up there. Thank you. Teachers deserve some props. Dads are
Sorely underrated. Wow.
sorely
That's a good-
underrated. Sorely underrated. Sunday
So funny.
Sunday Night Smoke is in the building. He says dads rock. That's an understatement. That's an understatement. Okay. So we discussed a bunch of things, from the outage to Invisibly. We did some cheap product placements. What I want to know from you,
They were so subtle. I didn't even know if they were product placements.
tips for choosing and rewards cards. Tell me this much. Amazon Prime Day is coming up, June 21st and 22nd. Now, I'm not getting paid by Amazon for this. I just want to know, is there anything that you have your eye on?
I might buy a keyboard because I'm down this rabbit hole of music learning. So I might buy a keyboard. If I can get a good keyboard that shows you how to play a keyboard, as well as you can cut that off and actually do actual good keyboard with it, then I can have it for the next, XYZ amount of years. Then I'll spend the extra money to get a good one versus some to just kind of like have here. So yeah, I think I keep maybe a drum set. I was thinking about a nice padded drum set, but I'm like, man, don't go too deep in this rabbit hole if you don't know what you're doing. So who knows, man? This is the thing. Maybe I'll buy one this year and one next year. But
So
yeah,
in the
I
folks
also
in
need an
the,
art table. God damn it, man! I've got all this stuff that I realize I need. You've got me supporting a guy that I'm not too crazy about.
so the folks in the comment field, is there anything that you're interested in purchasing that you usually wouldn't purchase, but now that Prime Day is right around the corner, that you're likely to pick up?
I might buy something.
If it's heavily discounted, is there
Right.
anything?
Right. What about you, Biz? While they type, what are you thinking about? What you got your eye on?
Nothing really. To be truthful with you, nothing really, because I'm actually good, but what I'm going to do is look and see what some of the stuff that they're doing early, some of the early sales. If there's anything that catches my eye, I'm
Right.
for the most part not, because I already have a Fire Stick. I mean, granted, they sell much more than a Fire Stick
too.
Yeah. John says in the chat, I've got $10 in the bank for Prime Day, says Amazon, due to a small business purchase. And John also says, you got enough Fire Sticks, Ted. Yeah, you're right.
Tell Amazon not to mooch off their Wi-Fi.
Dude, that was it's so funny that we were talking about the Amazon Sidewalk last week.
Yeah.
Whew. And the amount of traffic that we got, along with a lot of other people reporting on that, how to turn that feature off was really huge. But before we close out, any specific topic you want to talk about that's controversial? You want to talk about the vice president going to solve the issue at the border? You want to talk about
the border in a nutshell? You can't just keep having people walk over your border and stay here. You can't. You may feel bad for these people, but they're here because their society is failing. They'd be heroes if they fucking fix their society. But that's a yeoman's friggin' lift, because once you set up and go, the cartel is bad, people ride on you in the night like the Klan. And all they do is, and that's the thing I don't understand about They don't want to run Mexico. They just want to, you know. So I don't know. I think Mexico's a failed situation, and you can't just have people abandon it and come here. You can't. And then they come here, they start families and get jobs, and all of a sudden you find them 20 years later, and then they heap guilt on you, like, you're a bad person for not letting me stay. And you're like, wait a minute, what? And it's not just them. Like I said, the prince just showed up here. Go listen. He could have went to any of his family's kingdoms, right? He could have went to Australia, could have went to Canada. No, it could have been India. No, he's here in California. He's not. Yeah, the whole what is going on in here. We're not running the fucking bed and breakfast, right? You better figure out the people who are here had better want to be here for reasons that you respect, not just because they want to be here. So you got Russian people. I mean, oh my God, we have fought wars with these people, and they're here doing whatever they want. It doesn't make any sense. Like if we're in this relationship with the Chinese and the Russians and the Iranians, why are they allowed to immigrate here? Right. So all these things that make you an American, they don't care to take part in. They just want to be out of the place that if they said what they said here will get them, in a shit ton of trouble. Right. So, and then they come here and they don't really take part in the society. It's a problem. And if they do, they take part in the negative bits of it. Right. Like the racist bits and so, you got to make sure the people who are here want to be here. Otherwise, you're letting people in here who will up in your country. And like I tell people all the time, they're blowing shit up in all these other places, shooting it out. Don't be so smug and arrogant that it won't happen here, right? And don't be so smug and arrogant to think that you won't be affected by it, right? Even if it goes off, three things can happen. Yet maybe America will put it down fast, okay? Maybe America will take 10 years to put it down, but in that duration, your kids or family member or somebody will be affected by it, and it's all these people who just show up here. No allegiance, no nothing. They're here for cash. So yeah, I think it's a problem. So Mexico needs to fix their shit and stop blaming us for not accepting. There's 20 million Mexicans here. You're gonna let them all stay? You're gonna give them all a pass while not securing the border? Because in another 10 years there'll be 30 of them, and then 50 million, and then what? Then what? It's better that you invade Mexico than you let this slow death of America happen from Canada and Europe and Mexico. People just show up and stay. So yeah, I don't know. I think Mexico needs to fix their shit. I think Kamala Harris was right about calling them out on it, but I think she did so in this useless and feckless way that won't get a lot of traction, other than the stupid quote. Don't what did she say? Don't come. I'm like, don't come. All right. There's gonna be people sitting here watching that, and they show up here, they're not gonna turn around. They're not gonna go home. We'll see what happens. Don't come. Should
Okay.
we use they for a single person or ambiguous gender or something new or less confusing like XHE? I use they. In my opinion, I use they.
But wait, hold on. Stop. We
What do you ask
gotta
the
we
question?
gotta state. So John
Ugh, good Lord.
Ardmore
Yeah.
said kids and their gender neutral plural pronouns. That is let's table that for Friday night. Let's table that because that could be a discussion on its own.
Illegal lives matter.
John also says, should we use
They
the word
for
they
single person,
for a single person? Go ahead, Go ahead. True,
or
you
an
can read that.
ambiguous gender or something new and less confusing like XHE. Was that she? So that she spelled with an X versus a SHE? No, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm not doing? I'm not jumping through your word game hoops. I'm not doing this. My concern is very simple, and I don't think I'm racist or unfair or any of this. I've been trying to get this country to be fair to a group that's been here for a long time. I'm not going to stop everything to humor another group. I'm not doing it. I mean, there's a body count here. And I know that there's a lot of well-meaning liberal people. I just think they're on the wrong end of the argument all the time. And when I start talking like this, all of a sudden I have to leave the party so you can exist in this realm Look at how right and wonderful we are. No, I'm not calling anybody XHE. She, what is that? She?
All right,
I'm not
hold
doing
on,
that.
hold
I'm not
on, hold
doing
on.
that. I
So
want you to prosper. God bless you, but I'm not leaning into your mind fuckery. Excuse my language. This word game to make you feel better about it. I can't even
Friday,
get a cab to stop for me in New York City. For
Friday,
God's sakes.
they can be one or two people. It's effing confusing, and my daughter says they. John,
They is legit. How about
John,
they?
you're gonna have to come up on Friday. On Friday, you're gonna have to come up. Um, I will say this
My
much.
daughter
I don't
says
know if he's
they.
still out here. Sunday Night Smoke podcast was in here earlier, and we were giving you a shout out about your upcoming Father's Day, your 2-part, I guess, series.
Nice.
So we want to give you a shout out about that. Uh, Sunday Night Smoke says liberal equals donkey see, donkey do.
That's true, especially with this last election where you just are told to vote down the line so we can win no matter what, because the Democrats didn't have a policy or a plan. They just want you to hate Donald Trump. So that whole donkey see, donkey do is the most cleverest, most truest thing I think I've seen in like the last 2 years about this election. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Donkey see, donkey do.
As we
Yep.
get ready to wrap up, no, definitely, John. Friday, we're gonna tackle this. We're gonna tackle this because yes, confusing. I mean, I know we have to be very sensitive to the
Yeah,
situation.
we want to, exactly.
We have to be very sensitive to
But
the
we shouldn't have
situation.
to keep moving to make them feel better. They need to explain to me some stuff. And they need to give some ground because this is ridiculous. And by the way, I've been in the same fight for essentially, I'm born into this fight. So, like I said, I want what's best for me. I want good for you too. But if at this point, if you're standing in the way of what's good for me, so you can, I have a problem with that. And I don't know if I can vote for you or march with you or even even come to a voting booth and vote for the same things, because the last 10 years have shown you how bizarre this society is with some stuff, and that's the things I want fixed. I don't want to be
Big
made.
shout out to Brian. Brian, thank you for chiming in. We put
Yep.
you on the screen. Good evening, guys. I gotta go to bed. Gotta head to bed. I'm still listening though. You should listen to Tom McDonald's latest video called Snowflakes. It's over 4 million views and dropped last Friday. With that, tell me about 13 minutes.
Oh yes, all right. I want to like John Altman's post. Yeah, no, there's no static here between me and you, John. I see what you're saying. I'm just trying to clarify without being put in a box of like anger or hatred or anything of other people.
Friday.
But yeah, so my the 13 minutes give or take is thrice weekly pod, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. 13 minutes on a topic. As I see fit. I should probably put a schedule out, but some get pushed, I guess, further back because some enter my head that day hotter than what I planned. So, but yeah, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays between 2 and 7. Most likely it'll be done by. I was doing 4, but I'm realizing I should do it a little later, so it might be by 6 p.m. So some can
6
watch
p.m.
it,
Eastern time.
6 p.m. Eastern. So some can between 2 and 7, but it'll likely be done every night at 6. Right, well, right, a little before 6, just so you can like watch me and then see what the midnight news has to say.
So for 13 minutes, are you talking about one specific topic?
We're talking
or
about
are you
one
doing 2
specific
or
topic.
3?
We ramble around and squish up and hug and squeeze one specific topic, and that's what we do. We like there's more than me. I do one specific topic, look at it from all angles, backflip, cartwheel, the whole bit, upside down, right side up, and see if I'm crazy. And maybe the people in the chat will go, "No, you don't know what you're talking about," or they'll go, "Oh, that's a really good point. I didn't. That's disappointing. But it's stuff that I think that people should be talking about.
Sunday Night Smoke, thank you for the high five award.
Smooth.
All right, so that's Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays.
Yep.
Let's
call it
call
13
minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you got to schedule these things so that people know when you go live. So
Right.
then, boom, you turn it up, because 13 minutes is pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I know
Yeah.
you're going to bring the heat for those 13
It's enough
minutes.
time for you to have one beer with me. You know what I mean? Or one cup of tea. We sit and we shoot it, and then you go, oh, okay, take care. Then people go, who was that guy? You go, that was my homie. It's 10 minutes of your day, and you move on.
So what is the significance with the number 13?
13, because there are 13, I'm about to say 13 countries, 13 colonies that founded this place. And 13 is a really solid number if you just want to hash up something with someone and not dive too deep into it's a really nice way to rekindle old friendships, right? So you can talk to somebody at a train platform or a bus stop for about 10-15 minutes and have a good time and then go about your business. It's not like you have to talk to them for an hour, right? It's this small amount of time where it's like a meal. You can really ingest, like 5 is too short, a half an hour may be too long, but 15 minutes is just good enough for you and your homie to kick it, have a beer, say whatever, and then get back to, like, you know, your husband or your kids or your wife and your children, and feel good about it, or at least feel not put out by it because you didn't spend so much time on it. But you might walk away going, huh, that guy, he said this. What do you think about that, honey? Or Bob or Jim or Bill or Mary or whatever. And, you know, that's kind of where we're at.
All right. So thank you for explaining in 13 minutes. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Like I said, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
We can find you on Haps, YouTube, Twitter, all the above.
Yep.
Make sure you look for True Armor. Guys, as always, in the comment field, Tony D, Bannerman,
Hey, Brian.
Rita, Brian, John, Sunday Night Smoke, and also to
Thank
our
you.
viewers that will check out the archive and my fell again, you know, so I got to do a better job next time. Be well. Thank you. And we shall see you this Friday. Tony D is going to be in it. A bunch of us are going to be in it. We're going to get those hard-hitting topics, and